Evening, guys. So, a special in-between episode here today, and it's a spring budget edition and a little bit of a rant because I've spent the last couple of hours just dissecting the announcements today from our Chancellor, Philip Hammond. Better off with Richard Hammond in charge, I believe. But anyway, I digress. Big headlines are that the attack on entrepreneurial people in this country continues unabated. Main headline today is that the self-employed are going to be targeted today, with national insurance rising 22% for self-employed people. And on the face of it, people will say, well, it's only going up from 9% to 11%. It's in line with Class 1 national insurance. Oh, that's fine. But it's yet another attack on small business owners who have already lost small business rate relief this year. They've seen their business rates skyrocketing. They've seen auto-enrollment forced upon them. We've also had the dividend allowance. This is part of the part of the budget today, is that the dividend allowance for limited companies is changing. So instead of being able to take £5,000 per year as your personal allowance for dividends, that's going to be reduced to £2,000. So we've got, in our business, for example, we've got 5 shareholders. So whereas our personal allowance for those 5 shareholders was £25,000, that's now £10,000. So 15 grand straight in Richard Hammond's, Philip Hammond's, must give him the correct name, straight in his pocket. And it just continues unabated. Did you know, for example, if you earn between 100 grand a year and £122,000 a year, your effective tax rate is 60%. So for every 10 grand you earn, 6 grand of that goes to Richard Hammond, Philip Hammond, and you get to keep 4 grand of it for all your hard work and for taking the risk and for taking the financial risk and actually putting your money on the line and working your ass off to earn it. But hey, I'm not going to get too carried away. I promised myself I would remain calm and not worry about the constant attack on enterprise that we seem to be getting from this government at the moment. Now, I don't want to get political, and I've tried to stay apolitical about this, but it's very, very difficult because you've got a political party who were elected on the promise that they would be pro-business. They were they were on the side of small businessmen. They were the party for strivers. They were the party for hard workers. None of this shit was in the manifesto. In fact, what was in the manifesto was, we're not going to put up VAT. We're not going to put up income tax. We're not going to put up national insurance. Now they said, oh, well, we didn't mean, we weren't going to put up national insurance. We meant we weren't going to put up Class 1 national insurance. That's what we meant by that. And it's just been attack after attack after attack. As I say, let's rattle them off. So national insurance up 22%. Small business rate relief abolished. Business rates hiked massively. In some cases, 50, 60%. That effective 60% tax between 100 grand and 122 grand. The withdrawal of child benefits for couples who earn over, is it 42,000 a year each, or combined 80,000? Removal of the dividend allowance from 5 grand to 2 grand. The abolition of mortgage interest rate relief for property investors. So if you are a buy-to-let landlord and you've got a mortgage which costs you 500 quid a month and you've got a place that you rent out for 700 quid a month, the way you would think this would work is, I make 200 quid a month profit, therefore I'll pay tax on the 200 quid. Under George Osborne's plan, which Richard Hammond, Philip Hammond, has continued, you will pay tax on the full 700 despite the fact that you're only actually making 200 quid. So in many, many cases, so many people are actually going to be paying more in tax than they actually make on these properties. The 3% additional stamp duty on all second homes, on all buy-to-let properties. So if you want to buy an investment property, it's going to cost you an extra 3% stamp duty on top of the normal stamp duty that you'd pay anyway, and then you can't even take the mortgage off the tax that you have to pay. Auto-enrolment. Hey, we can't afford a state pension, so I know what we'll do. We'll get small business owners to pay for it instead. It's basically national insurance under a different name, which has just been forced upon us. So much red tape, it's costing us a few hundred quid a year just to service this auto-enrolment, a pension which is going to be worthless for most of the people in it anyway, because no one knows what a decent pension provider looks like. And that's just been forced upon small business owners. Oh, well, small business owners can pay for that. Abolition of child benefit. It is an absolute attack on enterprise. I read a quote just now from John Redwood, who he's a Tory MP, and I think he was the guy who challenged John Major for the leadership way back in the early 90s. And he said, I'm quoting now, "I don't think that we should be going out of our way to tax work, growth, enterprise and success." Well, I'm sorry, John, I'm sorry, Philip, but that is exactly what you've done right here. You are taxing the self-employed, you are taxing the small business owners, you are taxing the people who are the backbone of this country to breaking point. It just seems that the only way to actually succeed with this government is to either become a massive global corporation, in which case you don't have to pay any tax, or become a lazy sod and sit on your arse all day. So I'm sorry I've had a little bit of a rant there, and I promise that this will not be a recurring theme with these in-between episodes, but I really have been angered by not just today. Today is the straw that broke the camel's back, really. It's just been a culmination of attacks on small business owners, so that we can still, please the bankers, and we can still pander to Starbucks and Amazon and all the major corporations who don't really want to pay any tax. Oh, Facebook. Oh, I'd like to pay £1.7 million tax, please, on my £5 billion profit. Oh, yep, no worries. Google a couple of years ago, they told HMRC how much tax they would like to pay, and that's what they paid. Whilst the rest of us are told, oh, yeah, it's 60%. So what to do? That is the question, what to do, because what's the alternative? Do you vote Corbyn in? Is that really going to help any small business owner? But again, it doesn't really matter who you vote for, does it? Because nobody voted for all this shit. This was never in the manifesto in the election, 2 years ago. None of that shit was in there. And then it's just, we've got elected now, we've got a majority government. Hey, we can do whatever the hell we like. Michael, thank you very much, mate. I thank you for humouring my little rant. Interesting point. You say if they just made tax a flat 20% across the board, they would probably get more money, as people wouldn't be constantly trying to dodge paying the ridiculous percentage on higher earnings. Now, sorry about that. I think we dropped off for a second there. So yeah, Michael, I was just talking about this flat 20%. Now, I read about this. And I remember watching Question Time, Newsnight, something like, I think it was Question Time, years ago. Tony Blair was on there when he was leader. And he said that he wanted to abolish the higher rate of tax. And he said, every study I've seen has said, if you have a flat rate of tax, you collect more revenue. But every politician knows this. Every politician in the world knows if you have a flat rate of tax, you will collect more tax. Because why don't Facebook want to pay their 50% tax on anything they take out of business because it's far too much. It's ridiculous. So if you said to them it's 20%, they'd probably say, oh, okay then, yeah, we'll siphon a bit of it off and we'll pay our 20%. The guy who's earning 100 grand, who says, well, why bother? Why should I bother earning an extra 20 grand just so that I can get to keep maybe 8 grand of it if I'm lucky? Why would they bother doing that? Whereas if it's 20%, yes, they would. They would say, oh yeah, fine. I'm gonna work hard. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to invest more, which then means I can employ more people, which means I can grow the company and I can grow the country's economy. But unfortunately, this country is run by politicians. Politicians have 2 goals in life. Number 1 is to get elected, and number 2 is to stay elected. And no politician is going to get elected by saying, hey, we're going to abolish higher rate tax. We're going to tax people at a lower rate, because the plebs of this country will go, oh, that's not fair. Oh, you need to tax the rich. You need to take more money off them. I haven't got enough money. What you should do is, if anyone earns more than I do, you should tax them 80% of everything they earn. Everyone should just get what I get, because that's fair. Prue, yeah. Small business owners are the backbone of this country. They absolutely are. I mean, collectively, small business owners pay more tax than anyone else, especially after today. So, anyway, that's it. I'm gonna leave my rant there. I'm sure this will be bubbling on. I do feel better for having had a little outlet. So thank you for humouring me, guys. I will be back with some more simple, practical help to help your business grow so that you can pay Philip Hammond some more money in the future. Enjoy the evening, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.